Good morning. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay? I've already got my coffee this morning. Nice, hot, and bitter. Yeah, it's cold again. Sitting here by a heater. Got my heater down here going. Um, Hope anybody didn't get excited and there's a little bit of warm weather and put tomatoes in the ground. But if you did, you can cover them up and cross your fingers, or just get them back up again. Yeah, it's 34 right now, and that's it's gotten cold again. But I can't see. You can see what I got on here. My rabbits wouldn't stay on. I guess they just let you look at them for a little while, and that's all they do. But now it's two squirrels. They're not doing very much. Just, just sitting there looking up and down once in a while. Do squirrels do anything anyway? I've had a couple of pet squirrels, but you can't be nice to squirrels. They just, you're nice to them and you feed them a couple of nuts, maybe, and let them hang about, and before you know it, they've brought 50 of their friends. And then they really go to town on everything. I've had more clay things chewed up, eat up. They sharpen their teeth on clay, your pots or clay decor. They'll chew that up. And and they'll nest wherever they want to nest, but you can't let them get in there thick. Um, the one what I have a little can tolerate is chipmunks. I can tolerate them. But the only thing is they get into my pots and dig, and I put stuff down, like wire and screening and different things, rocks, so they can't dig in. But I noticed in my greenhouse, my colices, that I was saving over winter, I just dug them totally out. Just tore them out, threw them out down on the concrete. So, I don't know. They're cute little fellows. They can be extremely smart and friendly. They all have different personalities. They're not all friendly. They're not mean or anything. They're just afraid of you. But some that are friendly will just come right up, look in the door, and you know come close to you. A little bit kind of special. But the others that aren't friendly, they're scared to death of humans. Of course, I don't blame them. I would be too. It didn't surprise me when they started arresting those people for scratching and burning and cutting. And the strangest people you don't expect would be doing that. People of my age are keying those cars and just wow, you know. And they're leaving their sign behind. And if you're Jewish and you own the car, they put a swastika on there. It's just it never. Humans don't ever change. They never change. They don't ever grow up or realize that was dumb. Let's don't do that anymore. But why people want to be Nazi, I have no idea. But they're always around. They creep up when they see an opportunity to get like it's kind of like the squirrels, you know. One comes in, and before you know it, they invite more and more. Usually, the Nazis are usually young white men. Uh, I don't understand that. I don't understand that. All I can see is they need to get a job and get to work, get about their business in life. They're those that sit around, have nothing to do, and they get into trouble. Now, older people sit around, have nothing to do, but they don't get into trouble. At least I don't think so. Uh, what have I done? Oh, what would you, well, everybody wants to ask me things, but they're all the things that are on the videos. I've stopped making video on Sunday, but I do put something in there once in a while. Not sitting and talking like this, but um, you ask me questions that I've already told you, or you ask me questions that's on the videos, you know. And I know I'm not that important that you're going to remember everything, of course. Um, but not much to say or not much to do in the winter, you know. You can go out and if you feel good enough, you know, this flu it just keeps coming back. It's like you think, okay, yeah, I feel good today, yeah, you know, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I need to go. Let me just go over here and sit a minute. Let me go over here and close my eyes a minute because it's just like it comes back on you, you know. I thought, well, how long have I had this flu? And I thought, and I counted back on my videos, list of videos, and the day I started feeling bad was when I went out and pulled weeds in my front yard in that bed, 9 days ago. Um, and it seems like it's been weeks that I've been sick, but it's been just 9 days. Um, but yeah, I was so feeling so bad that day. I couldn't hardly do to make the video and pull weeds. I did a terrible job on that. Yeah, I took 2 buckets out there to pull 2 buckets of weeds, and I only ended up with 1 bucket. Okay, I'm done. Yeah, my husband's the same way. He's well, but he's not well. Um, you kind of you kind of step out of yourself when you're sick. It's like you step to the side. I know that's a hard explanation that you might not understand, but it's kind of like you step out of yourself. Yeah, and even though you don't have the same signs, it's just you still feel sick. But yesterday, I thought, yeah, I'm gonna go out and sit in the sun, and you know, I'm gonna go out there and walk around a little bit, get some fresh air. And I started getting so sick, I just forget it, you know. But I know I need to start moving about and keep up with my house. But I've been working on getting my identification straight still. I was filling out some of the. I am gonna like that he she said. I am writing Texas, filling out application to change my birth certificate. Try try to get something right, you know. And misspelled my name on my birth certificate. And and back then we all didn't think that was very important. We knew who we were. But now that you've got to have everything accurate, accurate for the computer, scan, you can't get by with it. So if my name's out of whack, and you know, I might not get any money. Anything happens to my husband, I may not get my money out of my bank because my names are every identification I have. My name. I mean, I could have a whole lot of IDs. I could open a whole bunch of accounts because they want the middle name exact. They want the first name exact. And my husband yesterday he said, "Would you write your name out? Do you know what your name is? Write it out." So I closed my eyes and I wrote my name out. I said, "Whatever that says, that's my name." He looks at it and he's like, "That's not the way it's spelt here. That's not the way it's here." And that's what I said, "This is my name right here. So whatever, it's all got to match that." And that's what the name my tax is. That my taxes are in. I'm not changing. I'm changing everything to go to my taxes for my taxes because I don't want to get screwed around. So anyway, I'm writing taxes to change my birth certificate. And I had no idea you can get them. They will change your name. They will change your race. They will change who the mama or the daddy is because you say so. And now all these people, well, take the one like Obama. He could change anything, you know. It's not going to be disputed. He just changes it, and that you go to Notary Public and sign it and have it, stamped at the same time, and then you send it off and you give them the money they need to redo the papers. Now, after I got divorced, I wanted my name changed back to my maiden name. I thought I could I'll just take my maiden. I'm going back to my maiden name, get rid of this man and his name. I didn't have any children by him or anything. I'm going to get rid of this man out of my life. I had to go to court. I remember I had to pay $250 cash to walk into the court and tell them why I was changing my maiden name back. I mean, my name back to my maiden name, which I thought I owned my maiden name. No, you don't. And he thought it was crazy that I wanted to change my name to my maiden name because I had 3 daughters with my husband's last name. I thought, well, you know what? I told him this. They're going to grow up and get married. Possibly. Eventually. Of course, one of them didn't. And they're going to change their names. And then I'll be stuck with that man's name for the rest of my life. And it's too long. So I had to pay $250 and argue with the judge why I was changing it. Finally, after going, and then he pushed me off to another court. He didn't want to deal with me. Like it was some big dilemma. I just want my maiden name back. Well, I finally got my maiden name back. Legally. Then I got married, which I'd never planned to marry again. This was years later. I married. So when I went to renew my driver's license, I thought I was going to outsmart everybody. I wrote my driver's license down and put my maiden name as my middle name. So now I got married and forgot all about, the driver's license was different. I didn't think much about it. I thought I had a drawer full of marriages and divorces, you know. I thought I had everything. Birth certificate. I thought I had everything I needed. Social Security, all that stuff was, you could identify me. That wasn't the way it was. When I turned my driver's license in and my tax receipt in to these people here, computer And no, we can't pay you because you got a name different than your taxes that you signed for. And I'm like, oh, well, I do, but mm-mm. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm trying to get my driver's license. In this old age, I'm trying to get my driver's license in another name. I wonder what name is going to be on my tombstone before it's over with. Maybe I should just be called, some people just have one name. I've heard of people who have one name. Maybe I should just have one name. Hey, you. I don't know. I think maybe as women, because we marry and change our names, I think that maybe the name changing should stop because it causes more trouble than it's worth. If you get married, you have to go to, or divorced, you have to go to you have to change everything and you have to get in line somewhere to get that done. Uh, it's just not worth it. All that I went through. Of course, you're probably thinking, oh, well, most people just marry one time and then they let it go. No, you had to hit it quite a few times and mess your name all up. You deserve all that. Oh, me. But anyway, I got a stack of papers to fill out. Now, when I was at the trying to get my driver's license changed the other time, I told y'all about it. All those he she's were crazy. It would have been so simple, as the girl said. Is it okay if I just take her maiden name off her driver's license? You know, whoop, why didn't you do it and not say a word? I'd have bought you lunch. But no. Should I take her maiden name off of her driver's license? Seems like a simple thing. We just delete it out. No big deal. Oh, no, said the he she. No, we can't do that. She's an old white lady. We gotta torture her. And they are, and I'm still being tortured. Well, I guess I need to quit talking about myself. Talk about this good coffee. Yeah, there's always Nazis around. Yep, they're all around. They think they're going to come on and knock on my door. They said this weekend we're going to go and knock on doors on people that we know are Republicans. If you're flying an American flag, uh, we know you're Republican and we're going to attack you. And I'm like, what? No, don't come down here in the South and think you're going to knock on a door and attack somebody. Because all of us in the South are toting. No, don't do that. I probably wouldn't open the door on you anyway. I'd probably look through the window and see that you were for a fruit cake and I didn't invite you here. Of course, through the years, I've had so many women stop in and want to see my flowers. Anyway, they used to. Or have graduation pictures taken. I used to have a lot of white dogwood in the back that bloomed. And one year I had a lot, well, it was about 2 years in a row. I had quite a few girls come in their prom dresses that have pictures made, you know. And I didn't mind that, you know. Just don't come in and pull flowers and leave with them, you know. I've had some do that. Um, and why people think I don't mind that you pull flowers? Why would you do that? Why would you go in somebody's vegetable garden and get vegetables? Because you're stealing. That's what you're doing. Stealing. Well, I would think that if you got on the internet and threatened somebody. Now, what I just said was, don't come down here in the South and think you're going to knock on the door and attack me. That I got a gun and I'm going to shoot you away from my door. I don't think that's threatening. That's just a fact. But if you call somebody's name out and do this to them, I want them to go down, I want them to be done, let's get rid of him, and blah, 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 blah. That's a little bit, that's threatening someone's life in particular. I would think that, you know, it's easy to find you. You're on the internet. You can find anybody, you know. Um, and all the cameras that are around. And you go and attack a car that has cameras set up in 4 places on the car. I think you're stupid. Real stupid. You're kind of like saying, "Oh, I don't like to be free. Oh, I want to be locked up in a little 4x6 box somewhere with a metal bed with no mattress, and you know, and just feed me what you think I should eat, and give me a drink of something you think I should drink." Uh, that's what it is. And you don't come out and you see no daylight. So I don't know why you choose that. You just, I don't know. I don't know what kind of world you're in. Not a real one, that's for sure. Huh. Maybe here in America, every person that graduates needs to do like they do in Israel, go into the military. I don't know how long they serve. I don't think it's 4 years. I think it's about a 2 year time they stay. I'm not certain. I'm just guessing at that. I wouldn't say it'd be 4 years. That's like a career. But yeah, and give them a little discipline. What they do here is when kids get on drugs or act up or tear something up, then they instead of putting them in a uh, detention camp, which they need to build some of those too, um, they send them to the military, and then they act up in the military. Um, I've seen a couple of graduations at militaries as I got older. I was a little bit shocked because they were horrible. They disrespectful. Just I don't. They're just you look at somebody and the way they act. It's like almost they don't need to be here. What are they good for? You know. Um, But yeah, we need to start some detention camps, and I'm talking about work camps, and make these little worms work. They've sat around and mamas cater to them, and they're rotten. And then when they get older, oh, I still want to be a kid, but look, I'm all big and everything. What do I do? Don't tell me what to do. I don't know how to sport myself, but don't tell me what to do, you know? I think a lot of times parents build their kids up like they're something big, and they're going to be something big and wonderful. And they build them up. And then when they get older, make them go to college, get out. They can't get a job at anything they went to college for. And most of the things they went to college for are kind of off the wall. And then they don't know what to do. They can't support themselves. Parents have still got to keep them and raise them like their children. They don't think about gosh, when I was young, I was wanting to make money right away. I was going to try to do everything I could to make money. I mean, not anything bad, but work. I meant work. So I got some money. I wanted money. I didn't have nothing coming to me. There wasn't no money to be given to me. Um, yeah. But eventually we'll have to build the nut houses again. It was the liberals that tore them all down. These people need to be treated like we are. No, they don't. Some of them will never be right. They have brain damage. They will never be right. Yep, need to start making them work camps. Let them get to working outside and work on these roads. Clean these buildings up. Clean these streets up. Cut some grass. Pull some weeds. Come by my yard. Oh, well, those two little squirrels right there. Um, they've done nothing but sit there, and one's played with a pine cone, and one's wiggled its feet. I guess it's a baby, but they did a good job on those rabbits now, making those rabbits move around. But they ain't done much here. Well, it is raining. That's why they're inside. It's raining. Yeah, it's raining. Yeah, I see it. Well, I guess I've run out of things to talk about. Not that I haven't talked about anything worth talking about. You think about when you're sitting here and you're making a video, it's going to be shown all over the world, people that can see it. You wonder, what are they doing? How are they drinking their coffee or tea? Or, maybe they're just drinking a glass of milk, which I don't drink milk. But you wonder what they're doing, or how they're. I've thought about that. Maybe they're sitting in a hut with dirt on the floor. I've known people who had dirt on the floor before. When I was a girl, I saw some of that. Or maybe you're on a cliffside, beautiful area, looking down, in the meadows or something. Not everybody gets a good view. Not everybody gets a beautiful mountain or ocean to look at. Not everybody gets that. And then when some of them that get it, they get so used to it, they don't think much about it. Okay, well, I'll go and I'll talk to y'all again. Ain't no telling what I'll be doing around here. There is no telling. I just go from one thing to the other. My site's not about anything in particular. I know some of you have left me, which I see that. Uh, that's okay. It's okay. And then and some new ones have come, and it's good to see y'all. And welcome here. If I'm not doing or saying something you like, eventually I might. You know, I'm just a ordinary person living out my life, trying to enjoy the time I have left, trying to stay well, um, taking what comes, you know. So I know all of y'all, some of you want to be entertained by something, but it's just ordinary. I'm going to say bye now, and I'm going to let y'all go. I'll see you another time. Bye bye.